Hello everyone, you are all welcome to lecture number 1293, and today's topic is the revolution of laser beam, or we can call it laser. The word laser means in English concentration of light or concentration, but the very meaning of this light in scientific term, it is light which is amplified, stimulated, and with energy radiation. That is called laser. So how it is amplified? So we have to understand the whole concept. The growth of laser technology and science goes to Albert Einstein, and he already mentioned in 1918 that if all these atoms, once energy is supplied, they will be in higher energy state. Even the electron will be in higher energy state, and once they come down to their ground lower energy state, some energy is released, and that energy is in the form of photon, and that energy is converted, amplified in the form of laser. So laser, the father of laser is Dr. Theodore Maiman. Dr. Theodore Maiman in California, he was working in one of the laboratories, and he developed ruby laser. And after that, when our astronauts, they landed at moon, while they were coming back, they had put one reflector on the moon, and that reflector was there to receive the radiation. So when that astronaut team, Armstrong and his friend, came back to Earth, so the scientists in California, by putting some device in their telescope that plus power pulses, and the beam of light that was laser was focused. It took roughly 1 to 2 seconds. It disappeared. After disappearance, then after a few seconds, they got the reflection. So it became so accurate that with the help of laser beam, you can calculate very precisely the distance, even into centimeters, and also you can locate the people where they visited. But it was not having much application. They were thinking it is more theoretical. But today, laser is having lot of applications. So before going to that laser, let me give you the concept, how it came. You know that up to 1940s, there was lot of research about electron, and the concept of quanta, photon, quantum came. Then the concept of photon came. At that time, some people were saying, some scientists, group of scientists, they were saying that electron is particle. Then de Broglie concept came, and of course Albert Einstein concept was already there. They were in agreement that no, electron can behave both as wave and particle. So in that case, they mentioned that the particle of light is photon. In a very latest way, particle of light is what? Photon. Photon is quanta, bundle of energy in the form of wave. So they are saying that that bundle of energy, photon, quanta of energy, is nothing but it is the particle of light. And then atom and matter. Matter is made up of molecule and atoms, and these matters and molecules and atoms together, their particle is electron, proton and neutron. So these two concepts came, that matter may have molecule, may have atom, and all these matter, molecule, atom, they are all made up of tiny particles, and these particles are called electron, proton and neutron. The question comes, according to Albert Einstein, why these matters, atom and molecules, they absorb energy? Why? What is need? And there are two concepts, absorption of energy and emission of energy. So why they are absorbing energy? Because they are on low energy state. All these matters and molecules, they are on low energy level. And once some energy is supplied, they will go to their higher energy state. And more is supplied, then those electrons will be in excited form. And if more energy is supplied, and if it is amplified, that electron will come down to their, after some time, to their ground or low energy level by emission of some energy in the form of photon, and that photon is amplified. That amplified photon, which is not visible, is called laser. So laser, I can say in a very simple language to make you to understand. For example, there is two things. One is called music, and other is called noise. In both cases, music and noise, there is display of frequency and wavelength in different direction. So once it is unbearable, where you don't feel comfortable with different type of wavelength and frequencies are coming and going, you will identify it is noise. So your light, ordinary light, is just like your noise. And that noise, once it is concentrated with some very selected frequencies and wavelength in the form of music tune, and by listening that, you feel happy. So that selected, concentrated form of frequency, which becomes music, is called laser. And this laser, in the beginning, it was not having much application, and there was not much revolution. But today, surgery, in your mobile phone, in your DVD, in all electronic gadgets, laser printer, so multi applications are there. That I will be coming one by one. Here I am just discussing the history, how the laser technology developed. And here, let me mention that in late 1886, then 1910, 1920, if you go through their novels, English novel, American or British, they mention about this. They call it death ray. Death rays, death light, or death without bullet. So it was fiction of their, scientific fiction of their imagination, that time will come. There will be no need of any metallic bullet. They will focus only with some concentrated light, and it will be so dangerous that people will die. So it was very thrilling during that time in science fiction. But that one is reality now. And reality is in such a way that our rainbow from sun with different color, it is in the form of sunlight, just like noise. scattered every side. That ordinary light, once it is concentrated to only very specific wavelength and frequency, where it can be ultraviolet, infrared, and visible light all together in one specific direction, then it is called laser. And laser, once it is going to kilometers, it will not be having diameter, there will not be much diameter, but ordinary light immediately it will spread into hundreds of kilometers. Can you imagine that when the ruby light was, that laser was sent to moon, that is 4 million, more than 4 million miles, and within 9 kilometers that laser was there. Otherwise it would have been over whole moon. So that is the beauty of the laser. And secondly, its power intensity depends upon its amplification. Some of the lasers, they have only capacity of 1 watt heat. Even it cannot heat to boil the egg. But at the same time, some of the laser, their frequency of wavelength is up to 10 to the power 9 watt, which can even make this steel or iron to melt. So it has variety of condition depending upon amplification. And also nowadays different fluorescence are there, how those atoms, different type of atoms, how they are going to high energy state and coming to lower energy state, they are going to emit different type of fluorescence. So here I am going to show you some images. Here you can see in this image, when the energy is supplied, you can see in the form of just a small arrow with thread like in bunches, and after receiving the energy, it started becoming excited after getting some energy, and slowly the laser started, means photon has started, and again it gained more and more energy, and finally it is coming down to its ground state, and at the last you can see on the screen it disappears in the form of invisible light that is amplified in the form of a laser. It is a red laser beam. So you see here it is so much concentrated, it is not dispersed in dimension, in diameter, rather than very much concentrated in one line, single line or single plane. So that is the meaning of laser beam, and this concentrated form of light which is amplified, and then it has lot of energy that is stimulated, and that comes in the form of radiation as emission of high energy. So here I have given just in the form of summary. Number one, the word laser is originated as light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation that you have seen in the image, how it is emitted in the form of photon which is not visible, it is amplified. The laser was first built by Dr. Theodore Maiman. Dr. Theodore Maiman is American physicist. He did his PhD in physics, and after that he did a lot of work on laser technology. And of course his name was nominated 3 times in 1960s, 70s, but he was not awarded Nobel Prize. To my understanding, he deserves to be Nobel laureate. And that research laboratory at California, and the laboratory's name is Hughes Research Laboratory in California. And number 2, laser is English meaning is a narrow beam of concentrated light produced by a special machine, and the full name is a light amplification by stimulation emission of radiation. Number 3, laser, a device that estimate atoms and molecules, stimulate and to emit light at particular wavelength and amplifies that light, typically producing very narrow beam of radiation. And that narrow beam of radiation that I have shown you one line, red line, that is called laser radiation. The emission covers an extremely limited range of visible, infrared and ultraviolet range. Number 4, today there are many different types of lasers developed and with different characteristics. Laser is an acronym for radiation amplification by the stimulated emission of radiation, that is called laser. So I will continue on laser. So in the next lecture I am going to discuss some more detail and history about the laser. With this I will stop. Thank you very much for watching the lecture.